Hey, you guys. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. So, you guys, if you watched Teen Mom, the next chapter, I think it was last week's episode or maybe the week before last, we saw Kale Lowry pop up on the episode because Kale Lowry brought Maci Bookout, Kate and Tyler, Macy's podcast co-host. I forgot her name. She brought them all together to film podcast episodes on each other's podcast. Apparently, this is like a thing. I don't know where if you have friends that have podcasts, y'all join each other's podcasts and y'all just film a bunch of different episodes. Either way, I think they met in Tennessee, maybe. Caitlin and Tyler went to Nashville, maybe. They all met up somewhere, right? And they filmed for each other's podcast. Well, on Barely Famous, Macy and her podcast co-host they talked to Kale about a variety of different things, but one thing that was brought up was Amber Portwood. Kale acknowledged to Macy, she's like, I know you get a lot of backlash for being friends with Amber. And Macy responded to this. So the Ashley has an article. We're going to read it, and then we're going to play a few clips because at first she was like, I don't care. I don't care if I get hate. And I was like, girl, stop. Close to 100K. Yes, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel, guys. Oh, I hate when I accidentally click something. Maci Bookout defends her support of Teen Mom co-star Amber Portwood. I'm not going to stop caring. And I think Macy is misunderstanding. Nobody thinks she shouldn't care about Amber, but she should care enough about Amber to tell her the truth. You know, like Amber sits over on TikTok thinking she is a victim, that she has all these haters for no reason, and the internet is just full of trolls. When in reality, the reason people feel the way they do about Amber is they have like legitimate reasons. They have very valid reasons for why they don't like Amber. It's because of the way she treats people. It's because of the type of mom that she's been, and then she refuses to take accountability. Amber's daughter Leah doesn't want anything to do with Amber, and rather than Amber blaming herself, Amber blames Gary and Christina. So that's the kind of stuff that people get upset about. And then we've watched Amber on the show long enough to know that she is the problem. She's the problem, but she just completely refuses to acknowledge that. So Macy is misunderstanding. People don't want Macy to not care about Amber. They want Macy to stand up and be like, yeah, she's wrong for doing that. Or to tell Amber, listen, friend, you're wrong for doing that. I mean, when Amber went to court, these were recorded right before. So these podcasts were recorded late November, early December. It was also before Amber flipped Macy and Kate off because Amber did flip them off recently in an episode, and we're gonna watch. Amber was live on TikTok and she flipped Macy and Kate off. So we're gonna dive into all of that. All right, Macy has caught a lot of flack over the years for her seemingly unwavering support of Amber Portwood, and in a new interview on Kale Lowry's Barely Famous podcast, Macy defended her decision to stand by Amber, despite the many controversial things that Amber has done over the years. Macy acknowledged that she and her longtime co-star Caitlin Lau have been criticized by fans for continuing to support Amber, but stated, I don't really care. So yeah, Kale was like, what about this? She's like, I don't care. And she's like, well, I mean, people just don't understand. We're going to watch the clip in a minute. All right. Amber told fans last month that Macy and Caitlin were mad at her after she flipped them off on a TikTok live rant about her co-stars. Amber later apologized to the girls, but stated that they were still upset with her. During Macy's interview with Kale, which was recorded before the flip-off fiasco in March, Macy made it clear that she would always stand by Amber, even if she doesn't agree with everything that she does. Macy insisted, anyone's opinion on the type of friend I am or how I show up for my friend doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to stop caring and showing up for anyone that I love because you disagree with it. Let's see. Oh, yeah. This is when Amber had court and Macy and Caitlin and Cheyenne showed up. They literally flew in to be there to support her. Also, yep, this is true. When Gary 2.0 went missing, Maci hightailed it to North Carolina to pick Amber up and drive her back home. Let's see. Maci said of Amber on Kel's podcast, she's having a rough go of it this year. She's doing the best she can. There's a lot going on, and honestly, it's not really my place to say all the things. But she had a rough go of it. Maci says she can understand why Teen Mom fans think that she and Caitlyn blindly support Amber and never called her out on her bad behavior, but Maci insisted that's not the case. I mean, I guess it's possible. I mean, I guess it's possible behind the scenes they call her out, but I just don't see that because she would freak out on them. She would publicly say something. She would be mad at them. She would flip them off. Like if they were on the phone with Amber and they're like, "Listen, we don't like this. You are wrong in this." I feel like we would know. Maci said, "I think that's one of the things that is almost never shown. Between the three of us, me, Kate, and Amber, we will always be there for each other and support each other. But we are also the first people to check each other and be like, hey, you have to do something about this. Hey, that's not all right. Like, what are we doing? Come on." I feel like Maci and Kate could probably do that with each other, but I don't feel like they could do that with Amber. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's almost never shown on Teen Mom. And honestly, it could be because it's something that doesn't really happen on camera, maybe. Huh? I think sometimes support looks like checking someone and showing them a different point of view or how they could alter their behavior a little bit without judgment or being hateful. It's very possible all of those things to simultaneously exist. It's very possible for all of those things to simultaneously exist. Hale, who's not exactly the authority of maintaining friendships with co-stars, stated that you don't always have to agree with what your friend does. Something Maci enthusiastically concurred with. Like, exactly, you don't. Kale said, I feel like no matter what sort of tragedies, trials, or tribulations, everyone needs a support system of some sort. By support, I think that could include people that don't agree with your choices, but are still there to be your support system. Maci then spoke about the deepness of her relationship with Amber and Caitlyn, which she says is due to the fact that they are some of the only people who have lived the Teen Mom life. Maci said, Kate, Amber, and I are more than friends. We get things that other people can never understand. There are so many things I could talk to you, Kale, about, and it's like you 100% understand. You get it. You know where I'm coming from. It's just such an extraordinary thing. It's built on a not ordinary foundation. It's really crazy and really special actually. Kale added, there's such a unique dynamic between all of us, even the ones we haven't seen in 10 years because of the show and everything else. Those are some weird looking shoes. Which ones am I talking about? Which shoes am I talking about? There's two weird looking shoes there. It's just not my style. Maci insisted that she's not friends with Amber and Caitlyn for the benefit of the Teen Mom storylines. That's one thing that does irritate me. When people think, oh, they're just friends because they're on the show. Maci said, at this point, me and Caitlyn and Amber have known each other longer than we haven't. All right, so let's jump over to listen to a little bit of it.
I see a lot of hate towards you and Kate for your support of Amber.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And why?
I don't know. I don't really care.
Okay. You don't need to spend time on that.
I think based on what the audience sees, I can kind of understand a little bit of like how it could be perceived in such way. But, you know, at the same time, it's like, well, that's on them, you know. Anyone's opinion on the type of friend I am or how I show up for my friend doesn't matter to me. You know, I'm not going to stop caring and showing up for anyone that I love because you disagree with it.
To play that music on there. Thank you so much, Sarah. I do appreciate that. Anybody that's not into the content that I post, but you hop on the lives anyways and hit that thumbs up button, I appreciate you so much. But I'm having a brain fart. Kale was on Team Mom or Team Mom 2 cast. Kale was on Team Mom 2. Yeah, because Farrah, Caitlin, Maci, Farrah, Maci, Caitlin, someone else. And that's the thing is like I can appreciate the fact that Maci wants to be there for her friends. I do like that. Yeah, Colby, that's true. But it's like at some point when that happened with Amber and they flew to be there with, for her during court, but those audios that came out of Amber like literally cussing Andrew, calling him a fat ass and telling him that she would destroy him. She was like, "You will never work in this industry again. I will go on to make hundreds of thousands of dollars and you will never work in this industry." And like she's like hitting him and he's like, "Ow, ow, why are you hitting me?" And she's like, "Because I can. Because you're a fat." And he's like, "Is that why you hit Gary too?" She was like, "Yeah, that's why I hit Gary too, because Gary's a fat ass." So I'm like, at that point, probably would have had to make a post like, "Hey, listen, that's my friend. Been friends with her for a long time. Love her, but I do not support that. Anybody that talks to somebody that way, treats somebody that way, I cannot support those actions." And I don't think they did. Which I will say, at this point, last I heard, Caitlin and Maci were upset with her. So Maci and Caitlin support her through everything else, but they did get upset when she flipped them off. So let's look at that really quickly. So this was about 3 weeks ago. Amber was live on TikTok with her friend Mr. Hood's Gary 3.0 when she was going on and on about getting the show canceled. And someone said Maci and Kate have been good to you. And the reason they said that is because Amber was literally saying, "I'm going to get the show canceled. If it isn't canceled yet, I will get it canceled." And there were people in the comments like, "You're going to cause people to lose their job. Like Maci and Kate's been good to you. So you're going to cost them a huge source of income." I mean, filming for Teen Mom, Maci and Caitlin. So Maci gets paid the most out of Teen Mom. Caitlin and Tyler, so the originals are going to get paid the most, right? So like Taylor will get paid a decent amount, but not as much as Maci gets paid. Brianna will get paid a decent amount, but not as much as Maci or Caitlin, the original girls, would get paid. Tyler and Caitlin, from my understanding, they get paid the same amount. So say they make 120,000, which that's a low end because I know these girls used to make like a lot to be on the show. When Teen Mom was at the height of Teen Mom, they were making like $500,000 a year, from my understanding, if memory serves me correctly. Can anybody correct me on that if I'm wrong? It's been a long time since I looked it up, but they were making bank, right? Or maybe it was like, no, yeah, I think that's right. Because they were pulling in like millions of viewers. Thank you, Tracy's Fractured History and More. I appreciate that. So they were making bank. So Caitlin and Tyler, they make a decent amount of money. Say they bring in $100,000 a piece a year. Say that. Just say, because the ratings have went down. They've had to change things up a bit to make up for losing all the viewers. So they can't pay them as much as they used to, right? They cannot pay them what they used to pay them. Just that they pay Caitlin, Tyler, Maci, $100,000 a year to film. For which I would guarantee you, I would literally bet my right leg, that's arm. I would literally bet my right arm that it's more than that, but minimum $100,000 a year when they only film for like 4 to 6 months. That's $200,000 for Caitlin and Tyler that they would lose out on. That's, say Taylor makes $75,000. That's $175,000 and I guarantee you it's more. Like I would guess now they're probably making $250,000, maybe to film for a few months. So for Caitlin and Tyler, that's like $500,000 a year. Like that is a huge income, plus their children's income that they get to put in accounts. Right. So I'm not gonna lie. Like if I'm friends with you and I hear you online talking about you trying to get my job taken away, I have issues with you. So that's what the person in the chat was saying. The person in the chat was like, why are you trying to like take their jobs? Like Maci and Kate have been good to you. And Amber responds like this.
As your daughter,
Maci and Kate have been good to me. Hold up real quick. I wish y'all would say one thing to me after what I saw with Jade or my mom, sorry, what my mom told me before I got on this live. I don't want to hear from anybody because my mouth will go.
Yeah. So I was, Amber. Hey, I got a question, y'all.
There is no new season.
I've been watching as a moderator. I've been watching who's been in Amber's chat for the last few months, and then we took a little break. So like, I would like to say we're gonna open up a couple moderator positions for Amber Portwood. And
God works in mysterious.
Oh,
Wait, what did I say? MTV? I think the show's getting canceled, you guys. God works in mysterious ways, y'all. We're out to find out. Oh, I wish I could say more. But
so like,
is that in my contract? Nope. It shouldn't affect with me.
so they're gonna cancel the show.
If it isn't canceled, I'll get it canceled.
And then you could just put the ball will be in your court.
It's already on my court, honey.
Yeah.
I remember back when I was in like 7th grade, we acted that way. Yeah, about a 7th grade, maybe like 6th grade. Amber literally acts like a child. Like, girl, shut up. You talking about taking people's income just because you're mad. Like, leave the show. Let everybody else continue to make their money. They have kids. But so Amber did this because Amber acts like a child and she heard something, but rather than calling her friends to say, hey, this is what I heard, can you tell me like what happened? She acted like that. She flipped the camera off and was like, oh, Maci and Kate, ew, and flipped them off. Well, after that, Caitlin called Amber. Caitlin called her and was like, why are you flipping us off? I know, right? You're interviewing people to be mods on your posts. Like, are you serious? It's not a real job. They should pay people, honestly, to work for them. They really should because it's a full-time job. They go live. She goes live like 3 times a week for 2 hours. That's on a set schedule. And then she goes live at random times. And her mods, well, now that it's on sub only, it's not that bad. But before it was on subs only, they had to work overtime because most of her comments were like negative comments. But either way, Amber heard something, and rather than calling her friends and verifying that it was true, she just acted that way. She flipped them off. Caitlin heard about it, watched it, and called Amber and was like, why did you flip us off? Like, we have been there for you through thick and thin. Like, we have always been there for you. We have been good friends for you. So why would you flip us off and say that we haven't been good friends to you? And Amber was like, oh, well, I thought because of this. And Caitlin was like, no, actually, that's wrong. That's not what happened. We did have your back in that situation, and we went to the extreme to have your back in that situation. So you were so off base when to think that because you were so wrong in what you thought that we did. So Amber ended up apologizing. Let's look at that. If I can get it pulled up. So here's Amber apologizing. So now where Amber, Maci, and Caitlin stand, I'm not too sure. But before the whole Amber flipping them off, Maci was like, I don't care. Like, I got her back. People don't understand it. Oh, well, it is what it is. But here's Amber apologizing.
I'd love to clear for you guys is with Maci and Caitlin, they're pretty angry with me right now. And I got a text last night and I talked to Caitlin, and Maci and Kate, to me, guys, they are women that I absolutely adore.
Then
Maci
why
and
flip
Kate
them
have
off?
been good to me. Hold up real quick.
I forgot I did
I
that.
wish y'all would say one fucking thing to me after what I saw with. Okay.
They've been good to you, but yet you flip them off.
So I'll tell you the truth here. Maci and Kate came into town to see me. A certain person had lied to them about what I knew, which was a really horrific situation. And somebody told them that I knew about this horrific situation. And so they thought to not bring it up to me because they thought it was going to hurt me, things like that. They just wanted to see their friend. And that's what Caitlin said last night. Now, I thought they were keeping a secret from me, a horrible, because I thought, you guys are my girls. We've been doing this for so many years that, if anybody, I think you guys, if anybody says something, tell. I would say, Maci, Kate, this is what's going on, babes. Like, da 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 da. Well, they weren't able to do that because a person lied to them and told them I knew. And that made this huge scenario. It makes in my head, literally, I was like, oh my God, really? After all these years, you guys are keeping something so, thank you, darlings, so just hurtful and, from me, and they weren't. They were lied to. And I never knew that. I just found that out last night by Kate. So now I feel horrible because, of course, same person has to be in this dynamic to start this drama. And so I'm going to say right now, Kate and Maci, I am so sorry, darlings, for flipping you off and doing that stuff.
Can I have a pet peeve with Amber? I do. And listen, I'm from the South where everybody is babe, honey, sweetheart. Okay. I'm from the South, but it does not feel genuine when you call everyone darlings. When you call every single person beautiful souls. First off, ain't everybody beautiful souls. She'll get on her live and she'll be like, oh, all you guys are beautiful souls. Thank you so much, darlings. And I'm like, half the people watching you don't even like you. You consider them beautiful souls? I doubt you do. They probably are, but I doubt you do that. I can't, and maybe this is me being petty just because Amber irks me, but I cannot stand. I watch her all the time to record in case she's going to spiral or pop off. Literally, this morning, I had to record it. I recorded 2 hours of her, and it's just so annoying. Oh, darling, oh, thank you, darlings. I see you, darlings. Oh, beautiful souls, beautiful souls. I'm like, that is just so. When you say it to everyone, it's not genuine. I don't like it. It's so insincere. And it makes me feel like she's a very insincere person that's just trying to be that. It's like she's just trying to be that type of person that calls people that. But most people that do call people that, they don't call every single person that. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I work with a lady that calls me baby doll, and I cannot stand it. How come I don't hear a single mention of the word sorry? I know, right, Lori? Everyone has the right to be friends and be there for whoever we want. Yeah, everybody does. Everybody can be there for whoever they want. Yeah. Yeah, I'm in the South. It's like, bless your heart. But when somebody says that to every single person, it's just so not genuine at all. And it makes me feel like she's super fake, Elle Bee comes across as disingenuous when said it. Exactly. I know one vlogger saying baby to nice people, other people she attacks. Oh, wow. Wow.
I did not know that you guys were lied to. I thought you were keeping a secret from me. And to be honest, I should have known better because we've always been so close. I should have known better. And that's why I felt like they weren't there for me, guys. That's why I thought that. I was like, fine, you're not there for me. You're going to do that. And that's not even what the case was. It took Kate.
This video right here is a couple of weeks old. We're watching it because it kind of correlates with Maci. Maci recently appeared on a podcast. It just came out where she basically said she's going to defend Amber and be her friend no matter what. That she really don't care what people say. So that podcast was filmed before this happened, though. So now I'm just kind of showing everything that's happened since then, and from now, what's said is Maci and Caitlyn are still very upset with Amber for flipping them off and saying they weren't good friends.
Caitlyn last night to tell me all this stuff. Caitlyn's pissed. I understand it. I love these girls. These are some strong women. I don't go against Maci and Kate like that. So it's just a really, that was just a really horrible misunderstanding. And also another person that was involved who wanted to lie to my, the two girls I just adore the most on the show. Not even just this show, just, people that I really care about. Really, really do.
Monday.com.
Okay, I did see that, Cyber, and actually I was going to cover that today, and that literally just left my brain. Like, yesterday I saw it, and I was like, okay, tomorrow I got to cover that, but all day today I have, like, completely forgot about it. I wonder if she'd ever call Farrah a beautiful soul. Who knows? Elle, have you ever heard the old saying, well, bless your heart? There's two ways to say that to someone. The first is empathetic version, and then there's, yes, because I'm from the South. So people say that in the South, like, oh, bless your heart. Like, it was like, oh, I'm just coming from a funeral. I lost a loved one. Oh, my goodness, bless your heart. That's sincere. But then it's like, if I made somebody mad, rather than them, like, going off on me, they'll be like, bless your heart. Yeah, that's common down here. So yeah, Maci on the Barely Famous podcast says she understands why people, take issue with it, but she don't care that they do because she's going to be her friend. And that they have a friendship that other people can't understand. There's also one more. This
Kate and Amber and I, we're more than friends. Like,
it's like a family, and
yes.
It's so hard for me to describe to other people. Like, I feel like I haven't seen you in 6 years, but I feel
pick
like
up where you left off
because there's such a unique dynamic between, I think, all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, even the ones that we haven't seen in 10 years because of the show and everything else. And so there is this like
we
unspoken...
get things that other people could never understand.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a extraordinary thing that's
Unique
just
friendship.
built on such a different foundation. It's
Agreed.
Very crazy and really special, actually. Everything everybody sees on the show, there's like 1,000 other things and so many other times that we're together, that we're talking. That's one thing that does irritate me. Is like, oh, they're just friends because the show or on the show. I'm like, no.
That's where it started.
Right.
That's not where it ends.
Yeah. And I mean, at this point, me and Caitlyn and Amber have known each other longer than we haven't.
Oh, wow.
music. I felt Kale was weird around them on the episode. It felt awkward. Okay, be her friend, but letting your friend treat you like crap isn't acceptable. And Maci pretty much told Amber to treat her however she. Yeah, it's pretty wild. I'm like, dude, I have a friend that struggled with addiction, and she's very open about it. But through her addiction, she would not come around me because I held her accountable. There was a time that she was at my house and she did something at my house, and I made her leave, and I called her grandma. And I told because I was just so concerned for her. But yeah, she was at my house and called somebody to come and met them at the end of my driveway to get something. And I was devastated over that. I was surprised that, my friend would do that. And I was like, leave. You're not going to do that at my house. Heck no. Like, that is disrespectful to me. It's disrespectful to my kids. Like, how dare you? And then I called her grandma and was like, just letting you know. What about Leah? Where's your support for Leah? Stop playing the savior. Amber is not right. Yeah. Maci is going to get burnt by Amber and Ryan, and then she'll realize to stop giving these kind of people chances. Elle Bee, I'm surprised that I didn't see a crazy reaction from Amber for what Christina gave Leah for her birthday. But I thought it was beautiful, the letter and promise ring she gave her. Amber actually did go live that night crying about it. I saw some of it. It was like late at night. I was scrolling and I saw a clip of it, but I couldn't find it later. I looked for it for a short time, like the next day, to do a live about it. But she did go live crying. And actually, I think I did. She said it was disrespectful. Is that the one? I think. She did go live that night, the night of her birthday. Oh, she said it was disrespectful that that Leah did not want to invite her to her birthday dinner and that Leah did not want her gift. That's what she said was disrespectful. Yeah. So, yeah, babe. What you doing? I'm going to do a live and then record and then we'll go. 8 at 8. Okay. 8. How's that sound? Yeah. Okay. It's my son coming to get me for us to go to the gym together. Anyway, so tomorrow we will talk about the Caitlin and Tyler situation. The videos being leaked of Carly, because I have so many thoughts on that, and Tyler's response to it. This is just getting so out of hand. I am so bothered by the Teen Mom pages. There's an account on TikTok. There's a creator on TikTok that had 400 followers. She shared the videos of Carly, and overnight she grew to like 11,000 just from Carly content. There's also a creator that like looked into Brandon and did a whole TikTok live, or not a TikTok live, but had a whole TikTok video about Brandon. It had his picture, it had his LinkedIn information, it had like his job, the church they went to, and that's how people found the church. And I know this because someone emailed me and said this. Someone emailed me and said, I was not like doing this on behalf of Caitlin and Tyler. I came across this TikTok video about Brandon, and they sent me a screenshot, and it was literally Brandon and his information. And there was like, I saw that and I got curious. And because that TikTok like had the name of their church, the person was able to find these videos. And they said it was not too hard, but they were not going to share them. They were like, I didn't put them out to anybody. Now, that person that emailed me did send a video to me and sent it to someone that runs a Teen Mom Tea page on Facebook, right? And asked both of us, could you contact Caitlin and Tyler and see if they know about this? If not, I'll send them the link. So sure. And it was obvious through the email they did not want it, like they didn't want me to share with anybody else. They just wanted me to. So I messaged Caitlin on TikTok and said, hey, I had an email about some videos of Carly singing. Have you seen them? Do you know about them? Caitlin said, yes, we know about those. How did you hear about it? I said, I got an email. I'm not sure who it's really from though. And I said, I don't think the person's going to share it with anybody else. They just wanted to get it to y'all. And she was like, yeah, no, we've known about this. And I'm like, okay. And then the next day, the videos are out there. And that person emails me again and said, did you share this? And I said, I didn't share it with anybody, not one person. And I said, if I was going to share it, like if I was going to be the type of person to share Carly's videos or pictures, it would have been on my platform. I'm not going to send it to somebody else for them to post it. Like I would have did it, but I'm not going to do it because I respect Brandon and Teresa as her parents who don't want her picture everywhere. So no, I absolutely did not. And I asked if it's possible the other person could have sent it. And they said, well, the other person did post it on their Facebook page, and now the other person is not responding to me. So, but that person that emailed me wanted to make it clear that like they didn't do it on behalf of Caitlin and Tyler. They just saw that TikTok and it kind of led them down the rabbit hole. And then at that point, they were like, oh, I wonder if Caitlin and Tyler know about this, because this can be a way that they can see Carly. It was not, anyways, it's just that people are putting those pictures and videos out there because now Teresa may not allow Carly to sing or something, and Carly looks like she really enjoys it and she sounds really good. Absolutely, Colby. The videos are everywhere. Yeah, we're supposed to match it. Yeah, okay. I love my little necklace. I wear this one all the time. But anyways, you guys, so tomorrow we'll talk about that. I got some opinions. So yeah, I will post. I usually post on Facebook, Instagram, and X before I go live. So if you want to make sure that you get notified, you can follow me. Obviously, hit the subscribe button here. Make sure your bell is on, and you can follow me on my other social media platforms. And yeah, leave me your thoughts. I have to record a couple TikToks, and then I got to be ready for the gym at 8 o'clock. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye, guys.